Hello, I'm Francisco Martinez, and I'm Yupik and Honduran. I've lived in Alaska all of my life. I was born in Bethel but moved to Anchorage when I was a baby. Anchorage is the largest city in Alaska, but everything is spread apart. It takes me about 2 hours to walk to downtown from my house. Like any other city, we have our famous spots where everyone goes, and our hidden gems that only a few know of. I graduated from this school, Bartlett High. There were about 1,500 kids at my school. There was a rumor going around that Bartlett was originally built as a prison, but it's not true. You know what else isn't true? Is that we live in igloos, or that we ride moose like we would a horse or a camel. One of my favorite things to do in Anchorage is make art. I like drawing, painting, and making music. The stuff I do is usually about what I'm feeling in the moment, what I see in my head, or sometimes I recreate something that exists. Sometimes this involves people, stories, and characters. I've always loved art. I did it a lot in elementary school and didn't really get back into it until my senior year of high school. Some of the artists who I look up to are Van Gogh, Basquiat, and Picasso. I think art is one of the most important things to us all. If you investigate, you'll find some pretty cool artists in Alaska. Singer and dancer Byron Nikolai is from Tooksuk Bay, Alaska, and is sort of our own celebrity. Byron has many videos on Facebook and YouTube. He brings modern and traditional music together along with some originals. He started in 6th grade, and over time he became more and more famous by posting his songs online. He shared this song with us about something he learned from his grandma before she passed away. When others hurt you, do not try to come out on top. This way you will not do things which you will regret. By singing this song, he's managed to remember his grandma's words.
Anak sa kunache yor le rutai terkoche e ai ora Jesus akituk pingat ni wita ora shulga e ora khanga ai anak sa kunache yor le rutai terkoche e oracha Jesus akituk pingat ni wita orashulga e oracha
Another Alaska artist is carver and mask maker Drew Michael, who lives in Anchorage just like me. Drew took mask making classes with his dad when he was younger. He wanted to reconnect with his culture and felt that art was the best way to do it.
Hi, I'm Drew Michael. I was born in Bethel, Alaska and raised in Eagle River, Alaska. I'm Yupik and Inupiaq, and I'm part Polish. So after I was born, I was adopted out of my culture and raised in Eagle River, Alaska. My parents were white, and I have a twin brother who's also Yupik and Inupiaq, which are Alaska Native people. My parents wanted to stay in Alaska so that we could be connected to our culture if we wanted to get to know a little bit about our cultural identity. So when I was 14, I took a mask making class. I started carving in wood and using hand tools, and masks are an important part of the Yupik and Inupiaq cultures because we use those objects to tell stories. People wear masks and then they dance around in community settings, and they use song and dance with these masks to tell these stories, whether they're about maybe the creation story, how we see the world being created, or we're telling a story about things that are unseen like spirits, or we're talking about some kind of journey that somebody goes through. And so masks were very important, and that's when I started getting to know about my culture, and now I'm a mask maker. I kind of use masks as a way to tell my own story, just like all people have used storytelling or mask making or any kind of art form to make some kind of statement.
Drew has had many art shows, and he's improved his mask making skills so much that he's a professional and art is his career. He has lots of advice for beginners.
I'd say if you're interested in doing art yourself, think about the story or the things that you're wanting to deal with and put that into your work. The things that I'm working through when I'm creating a mask, I'm thinking about maybe an emotion or something that keeps coming up in my life. Maybe I have a feeling about some kind of journey that I want to go on, or there's all kinds of things in your life that you can refer to and put into some kind of art form. The piece that I want to share with you guys today is, I went to a place called Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's in a desert which is 7,000 feet up above sea level. And that's a very different place from where I live and I grew up. And so what I think is really important when I'm traveling is to think about where I'm at and look at the environment where I'm living or I'm staying or I'm going through, and try to take some of that and put it into my work and allow that space to influence what I'm trying to say. And so the piece that we're going to look at today is from that time in Santa Fe when I was there for a month, and I used colors that were in the space that are around me. So if you look at the piece, there's actually on the left side, you'll see up and down, there's this kind of jagged and wavy line that goes up and down the piece, and there's these like burn marks all over it. And that represents the topography or the mountains that you might see if you're looking at the horizon and the land. And above that, you'll see, or right next to that on the right side, you'll see all these colors. Those colors are like red and yellow and an orange, and those represent the sunset, because in the desert there's a lot of sun, and so I wanted to show how the sun was very much apparent where I was at. And then far to the right, I worked a lot at night when I was there in Santa Fe. I would create art when nobody was around so that I could stay focused and do what I wanted to do without bothering people. And one thing that I noticed is the night sky in Santa Fe is very big, because you don't have a lot of trees, you don't have a lot of skyscrapers, you don't have all these things like blocking the sky. And so the sky was really important to me, so I also wanted to put that in the night sky. So on that right side, where those white lines are in the piece, you'll see that I burned that with a flame. I actually took a torch and burned it. And that's an interesting thing for me to do, because in Yupik culture, after a mask was shared with the community, it was danced and a song was sung and the story was told with that mask. That mask was put into a fire or put into the tundra, which is the land with like small plant life on the ground. And after that was put into the fire or on the land, it was seen that story was released to the spirit world, and like the message was shared with the spirits that are unseen through the smoke. And so that's why I burn my masks. If you look at the main form though of this piece, it's long, and I created it because I want to talk about the human experience and how we connect to the world around us. Okay guys, this is the map of Alaska if you were to make it in the shape of a hand. So you take your hand, you throw those 3 fingers back, and this is Alaska. This is the Yupik region, and then up here on the top is the Inupiaq, and this is where part of my family is from as well. We actually grew up and lived in this area, which is where Anchorage is. And then if you follow this down, this is where like Oregon and Washington are. And then this is where the Aleutian chain runs. So that's Alaska. And then if you think of Denali, the big mountain, it's up here in the middle by Fairbanks. So there's the state of Alaska in your hand. So when you guys are talking and thinking about Alaska, you can pull your hand out and think about where people live and where they're from. And we do this all the time in Alaska. We show people where we're from so that we can have a reference and we can understand how we're all connected.
There are many cultures in Alaska, each have a unique language and different style of art. Unlike Drew and Byron, my art isn't really influenced by Yupik history and tradition. I am Yupik too, but like I said, I've spent most of my life in Alaska's largest city. Being born into a culture defines some people more than others. I'm mostly a city kid. That's the great thing about art, everyone can have their own style. We'll leave you with this last song by Byron Nikolai. He says this video is telling you that there are a lot of different cultures in Alaska, and that he is Yupik.
Alaska me petira pura yuken retu hanga hanga we nga yu